Blake Lively's downfall her own fault? Blake and her team allege that it was the fault of Justin Baldoni, his team, and their smear campaign. But Justin Baldoni and his team allege that Blake did it all to herself. So let's talk about it. In her complaint filed back in December, Blake Lively alleges that the negative PR, attention, and backlash that she received after the release of It Ends With Us was due to a smear campaign orchestrated by Justin Baldoni and his PR and crisis management team. But now in his lawsuit, Justin Baldoni alleges that it was all her own doing. Let's go through what was laid out in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit all about this. So first of all, as many of us are aware, during the initial marketing of the film, Blake Lively was promoting it as a kind of fun rom-com to watch with your friends. In this Instagram post, they said, grab your friends, wear your florals when telling people to go watch the movie. Baldoni, on the other hand, was amplifying the topics in the movie, including DV awareness, and marketing it more to that degree. Many people saw this and started talking about how Blake was promoting the movie as being inappropriate. Now, in her lawsuit, Blake Lively claims that she was simply following Sony's marketing plan for the movie. She claims that she was essentially doing what she was told. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is the one who went off script and against the initial marketing plan. However, in his first lawsuit against the New York Times, Justin Baldoni alleges that the reason he wasn't seemingly following Sony's marketing plan was because that marketing plan was overtaken by Blake Lively. He alleged that he was the one who initially wanted to market this movie related to its important themes, but that Blake pushed against this and that Sony eventually went with her version of the marketing plan. But now in his latest lawsuit, Baldoni is showing evidence of him and others involved in the production being concerned with the marketing plan from the start. Baldoni's lawsuit says, starting at least July 10th, 2024, Lively's social media posts promoting the film maintained a lighthearted, frothy attitude, depicting Lively in glamorous and floral-inspired couture, highlighting high-end brands like Chanel and Christian Louboutin. And they included some of those Instagram posts. There's some more here. And then a lot of people were also concerned with how Blake was promoting her hair care and alcohol brand in relation to the movie. So in the lawsuit, they say Lively freely interspersed posts about her new movie with ads for her new hair care line, Blake Brown. Upon information and belief, the launch of Blake Brown was timed to coincide with the film's release in the hope that cross-promotional opportunities would boost sales for Lively's new brand. Lively also sprinkled in cross-promotions with her alcohol brand, Betty Booze. This was a massive error in judgment. Social media commenters quickly pointed out that this tie-in was particularly in poor taste, given that The Who estimates that 55% of DV incidents are linked to alcohol. So the lawsuit says, quote, Wayfair spotted the issues and called for a course correction long before Lively apparently realized the magnitude of her miscalculation. That is shown in this email from Jamie Heath to the Sony team. So in this email, Jamie Heath says, I'd like for us to take a look that even in the midst of feuding, how many people are pointing out the DV is being glossed over and that Justin is essentially the only one appreciating the subject matter, whilst others may not be giving it the proper respect it deserves. As you know, this has always been a concern of ours, and I think we might agree that there is enough response to at least consider giving it a bit more thought. He said, people need to know that we recognize the gravity and sensitivities of this subject. And Wayfair's vice president of marketing and communications shared the infamous grab your friends, wear your florals post, saying that this is being called inappropriate in response to the film. So according to the lawsuit, Heath and others at Wayfair advised listening and responding to the wave of online criticism that had met the bubbly, sunny messaging that Lively embraced. However, Lively claims that Heath, Baldoni, and others at Wayfair sabotaged her by planting astroturfed media criticisms of Lively. It seems that if she had listened to and respected plaintiffs' perspective and insights on the unique sensitivities of marketing the film rather than seizing the helm and then driving the ship aground, everything would still be coming up roses for her. And then So Baldoni and his team and Wayfair tried to kind of course correct this and say we should focus on DV. But according to them, that wasn't listened to by Blake Lively and her team. And then, quote, once the backlash started on social media without any effort by Lively to course correct and entirely without any effort or involvement by Baldoni, it rapidly spread to mainstream media. They then provided several articles that point to the negative backlash that Blake was receiving. Quote, indeed, while Baldoni sought to focus on the film's central premise, Lively incensed audiences with seemingly flippant and thoughtless remarks. Embarrassed and enraged by this self-induced backlash, Lively now seeks to vilify Baldoni in a dubious attempt to resuscitate her public image. And then Baldoni's lawsuit goes on to discuss how Leslie Sloan, Blake's publicist, quote, devised and executed a smear campaign of her own against Baldoni. According to the lawsuit, quote, at 10:11 a.m. on August 8th, 2024, Melissa Nathan, who was Justin Baldoni's hired crisis PR manager, and Leslie Sloan, Blake's publicist, reached an agreement whereby neither would communicate directly directly with a reporter prior to informing the other. However, according to Baldoni's lawsuit, just 9 minutes later, Sloan breached her agreement with Nathan by engaging with a reporter at the Daily Mail. So Sloan had these discussions with the Daily Mail reporter. The lawsuit says to divert attention from Lively's tyrannical behavior on set, Sloan attempted to portray Baldoni as the antagonist. In her text messages, Sloan said the whole cast doesn't like Justin, nothing to do with Blake. She said they're panicking as the whole cast hates him. And then Melissa Nathan, staying true to the agreement with Leslie Sloan, sent a message to Sloan with an email she had received from that same Daily Mail reporter, but unbeknownst to Melissa Nathan, it was the same reporter and Sloan had already given him information. And she said, I'm going to speak with him, but I'm going to tell him nothing. And Leslie Sloan responded, let me know how it goes, not telling her that she had already spoken with the reporter. The lawsuit says, quote, despite their agreement, Nathan was completely unaware that Sloan had provided the reporter with information that significantly altered the narrative of the published story. Not only did Sloan breach her agreement with Nathan, but she planted false and defamatory information about Baldoni to distract from Lively's numerous missteps and throw Wayfair and Baldoni on the defensive. Sloan escalated the false narrative by telling the reporter that Blake was SA'd, an unsubstantiated accusation that not even Lively had gone so far as to claim, designed to destroy Baldoni and his reputation. The lawsuit says Sloan ruthlessly took advantage of Nathan's good faith. As a result, Nathan was forced to combat the negative press that was both planted and propagated by Sloan. Ultimately, the actual smear campaign was orchestrated by Sloan at Lively's direction. In Baldoni's lawsuit, they're trying to prove that they didn't orchestrate a smear campaign or do any astroturfing as Blake Lively claimed in her lawsuit, and they're saying instead the smear campaign was orchestrated by Leslie Sloan, all at Lively's direction. And then the lawsuit says, enter Stephanie Jones, Wayfair's and Baldoni's embattled former publicist and a critical player in Lively's scorched earth campaign against Baldoni, Wayfair, and their team. So if you recall, it is believed that a lot of the text messages that were included in Blake Lively's lawsuit between Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Justin Baldoni, and others came from Stephanie Jones, who Jennifer Abel used to work for, and Jennifer essentially stopped working for Jones and was required to give her phone back. And it is believed that that's where the text messages came from and that Stephanie Jones potentially worked with Blake Lively, especially because Stephanie Jones was allegedly involved in the smear campaign and all the orchestrating of that, but she was not named in Blake Lively's lawsuit at all. So that's where we're going to pick up in the next part. And also I want to note that Stephanie Jones is not being sued in this lawsuit, but Brian Freeman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, has said that they do plan to sue Stephanie Jones as well. But that's where we'll pick up in the next part.